Hey guys, this is DESHANTA B, and I'm back to do a little bit of kibitzing, actually a little story time for you. As I mentioned in one of my other videos, this weekend is my grandmother's birthday, and she's no longer with us, and she's been on my mind like crazy. She's been coming to me in my dreams. It's just that thoughts of her is just consuming my brain all day and all night. And I thought that this little story time as a tribute to her would be kind of funny because she was on the floor rolling. First of all, to all my new subscribers, welcome to the DB family, and I hope that you enjoy the ride. And to my DBs, debonair and beautiful, you already know how I feel about you. You are simply the best. Well guys, this story took place, I think I was either in junior high school or beginning high school, and it was in my mother's apartment. We lived in an apartment building, and my grandmother was over visiting like she often did. You know, she always visited on my mama's payday a lot. Nana was a very smart woman with her dates, okay? But she was there, and in this apartment complex that we lived in, when we first moved into this apartment in Brooklyn, we had everything. We had free cable, good security guards. I mean, I'm trying to think of all the stuff. Like I told you, I have a million things going on in my head. It was just a place to be. Everything was brand spanking new. But my mother had this big floor model TV. You know them old granddaddy TVs where you had to get up and take a pair of pliers and turn the TV. Well, when you turned to it was either channel 3 or channel 6, you could see who was ringing your doorbell downstairs. They had cameras, so you always knew, unless someone opened the door for them, who was ringing your doorbell and who was trying to get into the building. So grandmother's over. My mom back then was a habitual smoker. Okay, she would have a cigarette lit in the bedroom, a cigarette lit in the kitchen, and she always had to have her 3 C's: her cigarettes, her coffee, and her Coca-Cola soda. Okay, and she's very animated. You guys already know my mom is the diva of the family. She's the Broadway star, and everything is exacerbated. Okay, so we're sitting in my mother's apartment, and I just walked past them, and my grandmother said turn to, I think, Jeopardy. She wanted to see that show, which was one of her favorite shows. So I'm turning, and I get to the part where you can see who's downstairs by the intercom, by the bells. So I said, Nana, watch this. So she said, oh no, because she's very soft spoken. So I went to the intercom, and there was a guy that was standing by the doorbell. So I waited a couple of seconds. So I'm like, okay, he's looking for someone, but they haven't gotten off the elevator. So I go to the intercom, and I said, psst, psst. So he didn't, he's looking around. I'm like, hey you, how you doing? So he's like, you talking to me? You talking to me? Who is it? Who's it? I said, don't worry about who I am. I said, you know something, baby? You are so fine. So my grandmother, she's sitting there, she said, what you doing? What you doing? What she doing? So my mother's like, here she go. Here she go. She can't never do nothing normal. She's just like her father. I tell you, she's just like him. She's just like him. She's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, just like her father. So my grandmother's like, shh, let's see what happens. So I said, hey, what's your name? Let's just make up a name. He said, my name is Kenny. I said, Kenny, you got a girlfriend, baby? So he's like, no. I was like, oh my God, your body just looks, ooh. What's your name again? He said, I said my name was Kenny. It's Kenny. You can't hear? I was like, man, don't get upset. I just want to learn about you. I said, how old are you? And I think he was like 19 or 20, something, he wasn't too old. Mind you, I'm like 13, 14 years old. So my grandmother is sitting there like she's watching, one of her soap operas. So I was like, you know what? I said, who you waiting on? He said, I'm waiting on my cousins, but they taking forever. I can't remember which apartment. I was like, well, look, I said, if you don't have a girlfriend, I said, are you looking for one? I said, because I need a boyfriend. He was like, well, what you look like? What you look like? I said, I'm short. I'm light skinned. I got long hair, and it's all mine. I said, and I filled out just like Shaka Khan. So he said, what? Where you live? Where you live? I said, wait, slow down. I need to know about you. I said, you got a job? He's like, yeah. I just got a job. Hey guys, I'm sorry. My camera was getting overheated and the indication came on because I didn't mention that inside of Big Juicy it's 98 degrees, which means that outside it's over 100 to 105 with the heat index. But guys, let me get back to the story. I was speaking to him, and we're gonna call him Kenny, or I think I said Kenny or Kenneth or whatever. And I was like, wait a minute, slow down. I said, do you have a job? He was like, yeah. And I think back then they used to have a Arthur Treacher's Fish and Chips. He said he had just got the job there after school or whatever the case is. So I was like, well, wait a minute. Do you play any sports? He was like, yeah, I play basketball, I play football. I was like, really? I said, oh, a man that can play sports like that just turns me on. So in the background, my mother's like this. She's just looking at me. She's looking me up and down. My grandmother is sitting looking at the TV where you could see him like she's watching, one of her favorite soap operas. So I was like, listen, I really like you. I said, you're saying all the right things to me. I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get dressed and I'm going to come downstairs so that we can talk. I said, as a matter of fact, I'm going to brush my teeth just in case you want to kiss. So stop. He was like, yeah, I'm going to be right here. And my mother's like, kiss, huh? Kiss? You gonna give me a kiss? Well, you know about a kiss. You see what I'm saying? That's her father's side. And she talked to my grandmother. She said, what you know about a kiss? What you know? Where you been? Who you been kissing? So I'm like, kissing anybody. I'm just talking to the dude. So downstairs in the lobby where he was standing where the bells are. And when you open up that door, if you have the key, is where the security guard is, and then there's the elevators, and then there's another entrance, which is the service entrance that the tenants could also use. If you got your groceries or whatever, you don't want to take the stairs, you could there's a ramp there. So what I did was I got on the elevator and I went downstairs and I went out that side and I came around to where he was. Now he's standing there still and he's looking to see who's getting off the elevator. And I know that he was looking for this Desiree, aka Shaka Khan, body and all of that. So because Shaka Khan is fabulous. So I'm standing there and he doesn't see me. So I'm standing behind him and I'm doing the peace sign behind him. So I said, oh, excuse me. And I go in and I go upstairs. So by the time I got upstairs to my mother's apartment, my grandmother's like, look. Whoever he was waiting for, which I found out who they were, they really were related to him. I pressed the button to hear what they were saying. And they was like, man, come on, let's go. He's like, nah, man, I'm waiting for Desiree. That's going to be my new girl. So they was like, who is Desiree? There ain't no Desiree in this building. He was like, man, I'm telling you, she fine. She got the Shaka Khan. She told me she looked just like Shaka Khan, but she light-skinned. So they was like, man, ain't nobody in here in this building that look like that. And the only lady that looks like that, she married, man. He was like, I'm telling you, man, we've been talking for like 15, 20 minutes, yo. So in my mother's apartment, my mother's like this, you see? This is why I do what I do to her. Because go in the kitchen and get me a Coca-Cola, please. And she's just steady blowing out the smoke from a cigarette. So my grandmother is on the floor. She's on the floor. I mean, she's holding her stomach. She done threw her purse down. Her little handkerchief that she would keep in her wrist, she done took that out. And she's holding her stomach and she's cracking up laughing. So she tells my mother, if you let the girl go outside for longer than 20 minutes, she might stop acting this way. But guys, that was so funny. Just to see my grandmother laughing like that just made my whole day. And all of the grandkids, we did something like that because my grandmother was just that type of woman. Like I said before, she was down with the cause. She was a ride or die grandma. But she would put her foot in your behind if you were doing the wrong things. And I think that's where I mostly get it from. Because there is another side to DESHANTA B that I don't think most people want to see. Okay. But anyway, guys, I hope that you enjoyed that story time about my grandmother. It's just my little tribute to her and how much I've missed her. And just to see her laughing like that just made my life. So, you know what I'm about to say. You know what time it is. If you have your grandmother still here, give her a call. Give her a hug and a kiss for me, because my grandmother is not here. My Nana is not here. My heart is not here. My soul, she's not here. She has crossed over. So from me to you, to your grandmother, give them a hug and a kiss. Give them a call and just tell them that you love them and stop playing. Bye, guys.